every new piece of news that comes out about Biden's border is more and more shocking. There's seriously something going on down there that is causing it to go from bad to worse every single day. And each time we get a new video, it is more horrifying than the next. As you know, we have been covering it at Red State for some time. We have another video that was just released and we've covered it at Red State. It's on the front page right now. And it really does just go to show you how we as Americans, we are, especially those of us who don't live at or near the border, we see this from a long distance and we forget that these are real human lives sometimes. And a lot of these lives do involve children. Now, we do our best did our best, I should say, to take care of these children, to make sure that they're not put in any position where they're going to be put in danger, but it does happen. And it especially happens whenever you open up the border through your rhetoric alone, talking about how during your campaign that people should make their way to the border and try to cross into this country, and that once they do, they'll be well taken care of. That's what Biden and the Democrats did. That's what they did. And now you can see the results of this kind of rhetoric. You have children who are sleeping in the dirt. You have children who are being dropped from walls. And you have children who are terrified of being kidnapped as they try to find help from American authorities walking alone. And that's exactly what happened in this latest video that was released. Heartbreaking video of little boy abandoned at border. Terrified smugglers might get him. Let's go ahead and just dive in here. This is from Nick Arama. Joe Biden has created a horrible situation at the border, and it doesn't look like he intends to do anything that will really rectify the problem anytime soon. In addition to the danger to national security and the huge cost of dealing with all the illegal aliens flooding in, there's also a tremendous humanitarian cost to the kids who are facing all kinds of dangers from human smuggling because of the enticement from the Biden White House, knowing that they are going to allow in unaccompanied minors. The policy has caused an incredible increase in children coming in and is a boon to the smugglers who are making money hand over fist because of it. It's also endangering the lives and safety of thousands of kids, many facing abuse or assault from the smugglers. We've seen kids dropped from the top of the border wall by smugglers, for example, without regard to their safety, and at least one child dying in the Rio Grande trying to cross. Yesterday, the CBP found one poor little Nicaraguan boy who was about 10 years old. He was abandoned by the group he came with near the border on a rural road near La Grula, Texas. I apologize if I butchered that. He was desperate for help from the CBP, terrified that he might be kidnapped by smugglers. And here's the video itself right here. I'm going to go ahead and play this for you. You go ahead and watch this and see for yourself how bad this has actually gotten.
¿Ah?
¿Me puede ayudar?
¿Qué pasó?
Es que yo venía con un grupo de personas y me dejaron botar y no sé dónde están.
No sabes dónde están. ¿Te dejaron solo?
Pues claro, me dejaron botar.
¿Te dejaron solo?
So his
botar?
group left him by himself.
¿No vienes con mami
He
o
went to
con
go
papi o
find
con
help.
alguien?
He's not with his
¿Vienes con
parents.
tu mamá o tu papá?
Nadie. Yo venía en un grupo.
He was with the group and he turned himself in. They left him behind.
¿Te dejaron botar y te dijeron que vinieras a pedir auxilio?
No, yo vengo porque si no, ¿por dónde me voy a ir? Allí voy a dejar y tal vez me pueden robar, secuestrar o algo.
And they can also kidnap him.
¿Tienes miedo? Ok.
Sí.
Ahorita hablamos, ¿ok?
So, this poor terrified kid is scared that he's going to be kidnapped, that he's going to be picked up by some sort of smugglers or something like that, which is not an uncommon thing at the border. In fact, one of the reasons that we have these separation policies that were so demonized under Trump is because a lot of times people will get caught carrying children across the border that aren't theirs. They're called coyotes. Sometimes coyotes are paid to transport children north of the border. And sometimes those coyotes don't necessarily have the best of intentions. They will sell the children to the highest bidder, and for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes it's sex slavery. Sometimes it's they're trying to sell them into gangs. drug running, you name it. It's a nasty, nasty business. And that's why we separated these children from their parents at the border. Again, they demonized it under Trump. You don't hear much of it, much about it, at least, under Biden. But this is Biden's America. It has gotten far, far, far worse. The amount that it has picked up far outweighs the 2019 surge so far and is on track to be the highest in recorded history. Now, I want to go over some of the videos that we have seen in the past, just as a refresher. This one, you might recall, they're dropping kids off the top of the border wall. And as you can see here, they're not really concerned with the children's safety. These people who are paid to bring the children over, literally, as you can see here, just dropping them from the top of the wall. They drop off 2 kids from the top of the wall. And once they do that, see there's small children. And once they do that, they run off. They're done. It is a sad state of affairs. And here's another one. And this one came from James O'Keefe in Project Veritas. And it shows you just how bad the situation has gotten when it comes to these facilities that the left once demonized Trump for and compared it to concentration camps. Now, you don't hear them talking much about it, but they used to say, oh, they were kids in cages. Well, now we have kids sleeping under bridges.
Aliens inside of the fenced area.
One of our insiders just gained access to this incredibly restricted makeshift processing center in Granjejo, Texas. It's located under the Anzaldúa International Bridge. What you're looking at is never-before-seen footage showing migrants of all ages lying in the dirt, operating.
So we went from kids in cages to kids sleeping in the dirt. This is what happens whenever you promise the world to illegal immigrants. This is what happens when you tell people, hey, come over here, flood the border. Trust me, you're going to be well taken care of. These kids are not well taken care of. These kids are terrified. Not only are they sleeping in the dirt, they are scared to death that they're going to be kidnapped and sold. They are being dropped off at the border with no regard for their safety. They are abandoned. And this is what happens. This is what happens when you have these loose border policies, when you try to virtue signal your way into office by talking about how, everyone deserves the American dream. Trust me, I think that everyone does deserve to try for the American dream, but I think they should do so legally. But that's not what many of the Democrats have been pushing. That's not what the Democrats have been saying. I can remember back when Nancy Pelosi was calling illegal immigrants her constituents. Okay? You have many Democrats trying to push this idea that everyone is welcome here, that we shouldn't really have borders, but there's a reason that we have them. We have a system of laws in place. We have a system that is frankly unable to support the influx of immigrants coming into this country. We can't just wave a magic wand and make them all U.S. citizens. That's not how this works. We can't process the amount of people that are now coming in. The Biden administration knows this, but they're not talking about it. Kamala Harris actively tries to ignore the issue. In fact, she laughs about it. But this is what's happening. Crime is increasing. Kidnappings are increasing. I hate to think what else is increasing at our border because Democrats were a little too loose with their tongues during the primary. They made promises that they knew that they couldn't keep, but they didn't care. They wanted power. And now that they're in power, this is the result. It's a sad state of affairs, but I want you to see this so you understand. This is Biden's border. This isn't Trump's fault. They're going to try to blame Trump. It's not Trump's fault. In fact, we had some people not long ago trying to cross the border, immigrants trying to cross the border, and saying that the reason that they came was because of Joe Biden's rhetoric. They were even wearing T-shirts that said Biden let us in. This is Joe Biden's border. This is the chaos that is currently being experienced at Joe Biden's border. Do not let the media, do not let the Democrats tell you any different. I will see you in the next video. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or learned anything, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you're made aware when we upload new content. See you in the next video.